So we're just about ready to kick off there. I think they're waiting for us. They don't realize we can go when we're underway. Allnut. Walton to back to Walton.
And Tommy, it looks like they've put Steve Grant in for the Bulldogs. He's the lone man up front, putting some pressure on the defense early.
Of course, they tell us nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The unmistakable blonde hair of Steve Grant.
That's right.
Substitutions entering the game for the Bulldogs at the start of the second half. We have number 20.
John, Steve Grant now.
And number 11, Stephen Grant, entering for the Bulldogs.
You saw that before, Adrian. Oh, this could be dangerous.
20, Eddie Sabrango.
He's got a corner kick here.
Martin Nash.
Steve Grant. Oh. Johns. And of course, Paulo Dos Santos is in.
Dos Santos, a former Revolution player, now with the Bulldogs.
So you're going to be looking at the Bulldogs stepping it up a notch or two.
And at least Dos Santos and Grant have some fresh legs as opposed to some of the Rhinos. There's a nice tackle by Tom Polto on the far side.
There must be something on the far side there because Stephen Phillips is having a hard time staying on his feet over there too.
Yeah, I think it's a little slick over there, and I think as the evening progresses, there's a little bit of moisture in the air as well.
Yeah,
so
which surprises me really because they sat in this pitch very well. This could be dangerous, swinging this ball over in front of the goal occasionally.
Exactly. And Bulldogs need to capitalize on those mistakes.
Steve Nicol, good charge with the referee. Didn't see that.
Beautiful play by Steve Nicol. That was a great play.
Well, that's a foul. Now Steve Nicol with the free kick.
Looks a little breezier out there as well, Tommy.
Yeah, it's picked up a bit, isn't it? Oh, Tommy Podol. Obviously went to the same school as Steve Nicol.
The Field Goal Kickers Academy.
Yep. Well, Father's Day is coming up on Sunday, and top 10 things you should. Top 10 things you'll never hear your dad say.
Here we go.
Number 10. Well, how about that? I'm lost. It looks like we'll have to stop and ask for directions. That's one of them. And then number 9. You know, Pumpkin. Now you're 13. You're ready to go on chaperone on car dates. Won't that be fun? We'll try and bring you more of them later on.
That sounds like the David Letterman show.
Yeah.
The Rhinos really have the luxury of playing with it in the back here because the Bulldogs are down a man. We'll see what happens if the Bulldogs pressure them.
But a lot of the Bulldogs are going to chase everything now. What surprises me, it looks like they've moved Demon to the outside.
A chance missed by the Rhinos there. And those are the mistakes that the Bulldogs have to capitalize on. Now it's going the other way. Stephen Grant looking to center it there, and no one was there to.
He's going to badger them there in the middle. He's obviously been told to get in the thick of it to try and cause some problems and maybe tie up 2 players to keep an eye on him and then free some of them. It was a good challenge there from Steve Grant.
Good challenge and good in getting back as well.
Right.
We need that energy. Oh, nice play by Avery John.
Oh, beautiful.
Very well composed in the back there.
And plays a 1-2 as well and wins it. And you know,
what's he going to call? What is he going to call? That was all ball.
I don't believe it. The ball changed direction and never got the player.
I think he saw the studs up and he made the call.
But the studs were sufficiently low enough.
Yeah, I agree. And he got the ball. It was a clean tackle. Looks like the Rhinos are complaining. They want a yellow card out of it. They're not going to get it. That looked like a clean tackle to me.
I would say it was. Martin Nash with the free kick.
Martin Nash, I believe, is a member of the Canadian national team.
Wow. And the Bulldogs closing down well, and I think Will Kohler there, guilty of that one. Martin Nash with the free kick. Certainly a fit team, the Bulldogs. Steve Grant.
Both teams definitely look fit.
Steve Nicol.
Nicol taken down. Looking to restart quickly, Tommy.
Oh yeah. But just reacting enough to put a little bit of doubt in that guy's mind. Should he do that again?
That's right.
An old trick.
And that's what you want. That's a way to play the game.
He'll think about that before he does that again. Difficult to come up with, you know, a format of play here. The Bulldogs being a man down. The ideal situation with these backs would be to, you know, play the wings more.
Exactly, yeah.
With the limitation of players on the field not allowing that. Russell Payne.
And the width of the field making it a little difficult as well.
Right. Steve Grant gets it well. Looking for a bit of help in the form of Sullivan Phillips. Back to Tommy Podol. That was different.
That was a good effort by Kodiak.
Kodiak, yeah, it was an ideal. He took a look up and then sent one over in the hope that it would go over the goalkeeper's head.
Could have been an unexpected goal for Kodiak from way out, probably 35 yards out.
With a name like Kodiak, it could have been a Kodiak moment.
Oh, that was bad.
That was. Don't give up your day job, right? Goal kick to the Rochester Rhinos. Whoops, handball.
Handball.
Oh no, I thought it was on us. We'll take it.
Looked like it was a handball on Sabrango. Number 20 for the Rhinos.
Oh, Steve Grant so strong in the air there and wins the foul. Drew the foul and won it.
That's a nice drawing of a foul, that's for sure.
This will be interesting. This is an ideal opportunity here.
Great opportunity for the Bulldogs. They're going to have to capitalize on these being down 1-0.
Looks like Steve Grant will get ready to take the kick. Tommy Podol to his right, Takes a look. I reckon this far side of the wall an in-swinger. As they say in England, a banana shot.
That's right, the banana shot.
Steve will take the free kick. Wasn't too far away.
It was a good effort.
Even ground with the shot for the Bulldogs.
56 minutes played. Still, the Rochester Rhinos leading the Boston Bulldogs by a score of 1-0. That goal, of course, coming in the 11th minute from John Ball, and rather an unexpected goal.
Definitely an unexpected goal. It was just unfortunate for Russell Payne that he didn't get that. It'll be disappointing for the Bulldogs if that goal holds up as the winner.
I got a feeling the way it's going, I don't think it will.
Yeah. We've got massive bubbles flying in the air now from
Yeah.
kids in the stands. Looks like it's almost snowing out here.
I don't know what the conversation is, but play is being held up at the moment. Rochester with the throw-in. And you know, the Bulldogs forcing the Rhinos into a play because as soon as they get the ball, they're on them.
That's right, yeah, and that's what they need to do as well. It's a situation where, like we had mentioned, they're a man down.
Right.
They need to pressure them every time the Rhinos get the ball.
And in order for a team to be effective and do that, they've got to be superbly fit.
That's right. Which I think both teams are.
Well, I think looking at the way they play, I think the Bulldogs have got a little bit of the edge in fitness.
Yeah, yeah. That's a key factor in this league.
Nickel with the free kick. Goes over for a goal kick.
We'd like to thank the Metro West Daily News, the official newspaper.
You had mentioned the fitness level. I was noticing the other night at the Cape Cod game against MLS's Columbus Crew. Columbus was just in top shape, and they train, obviously, 5-6 days a week full time. And Cape Cod, you know, kind of a lot of the players are part time. They practice 2 or 3 times a week, and although they were in good shape, they just couldn't match up with MLS, the Columbus Crew. They were just so fit.
Yeah.
And it's such a big factor when you get to that level.
That's absolutely correct. And you know, the Columbus Crew obviously practicing every day except the day after a game, and it's just like a well-oiled machine when you bring it to play.
And I don't really think it was a matter of skill level. I think the Cape Cod players, fantastic players, Cape Cod, but they just don't do it full time. And it's a different division. And although there isn't that much of a difference between Division III and MLS.
Paulo Dos Santos with the free kick, turned away by the defense of the Rochester Rhinos. It's Avery John. And you know, loses it but gets it back, and the ball did change direction. It's no card. And Will Kohler and Avery John's there contesting it with the referee. Obviously they've seen something we didn't.
That's right. I'm not quite sure what happened on that play.
Can't believe all these bubbles.
Yeah, they're coming in full force.
Actually, it's an indication how windy it is out there. Steve Grant. Andrew Restrepo for the Rochester Rhinos, as the Rhinos get a throw in on the far side.
It's interesting that the A-League is considered by many to be somewhat like AAA baseball, a step below the major leagues. And you know, in soccer there isn't that much of a difference between the teams as there is in baseball.
Grant.
The Bulldogs and the Crusaders.
Right. Steve Grant sends it across. Headed away. Back to Tommy Podol. To Santos. Oh, nice play. We'll say, look at this. Ebby Kodiak. Shot. Oh! Just over the bar.
Beautiful opportunity by Kodiak.
And what was more interesting was the play from Steve Nicol, but he saw the open man down here on the left.
It was a fantastic play. You know, Ebby Kodiak's the type of player that can put that in the back of the net. And he had an excellent chance there. Took his man on,
Well, he
took a shot.
Took us to the left, broke to the right, took the shot. It was only just over the bar.
Great shot. Quite the rocket as well. Those are the chances the Bulldogs have to capitalize on.
Good recovery there from Steve Nicol.
Looking a little sloppy down there in the penalty area.
Well, I think what's happening is the Bulldogs are, you say sloppy, but I think they're just making it difficult for them to come up with something quick enough to leave the open man free, you know?
Sloppy is good for the Bulldogs in that situation.
Good call by the referee. Tommy Tanner, your buddy there, they woke him up.
Tommy Tanner, yeah, we got it shaken up a little bit there.
He'd be called Sixpence in England, a Tanner.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, yeah.
All right. Looks as though we got a substitute coming in for Rochester Rhinos, Lowe. Now, this is the gentleman you spoke about before, Eric.
But he's deceivingly fast, and if he gets a shot off, it's trouble.
He's a pretty productive player then, eh?
Yeah, he's a good player. Big player as well, in stature, big and strong.
Russell Payne. Steve Grant's moving all the time. Now, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, he's going to call that.
Yeah. So Ebby Kodiak, give full credit to him. Steve Nicol now with the free kick. Nice low one. Paul out of the Santos left-footed shot, but must have caught it just wrong. Goal kick to the Rhinos. I wonder why they never call them the Charging Rhinos.
I'm not sure. I think they're sticking with the R's. The Rochester Raging Rhinos.
Oh, nice feed there from Will Kohler. Looking for Steve Grant. It was a good idea, too.
Will Kohler, a Harvard product.
Oh.
Looks
a
like
little bit unlucky, Ebby there.
Yeah, it looks like he couldn't turn on it properly and couldn't get his weight behind that shot.
Yeah. Tremendous reach on that kick. That's Russell Payne. And I failed to see how that could be offside.
Yeah, we're almost even with that.
I failed to see
side
how
of the
that could be
field,
offside.
and it didn't look like offside to me. Nandi Lowe couldn't handle that one.
Yeah, it looks as though he got caught a bit awkward for it because he landed up on his rear end.
Way offsides.
Absolutely. Steve Nicol with the free kick. Takes a look at Steve Grant, and I think him that the other way. Obviously, the referee didn't see him pulling on this side.
No, it didn't look like he saw that one. And last time out for the Rhinos here at Bowditch a few weeks ago, and Andy Lowe up front wasn't much of a factor. In fact, Steve Nickel and the defensive core really shut him down.
DeSantos. That amazes. Well, good for the referee.
He's going to call that.
Calling that. I thought he was going to get away with it because the whistle was rather a slow one.
Right. We're going to call him off on that one as well.
Yeah, pulling them up. Steve Nickel. Sends one right into the goal mouth. I think Adrian Healy loves these special effects, you know. I've got a headache.
Adrian, our media relations director,
Yeah.
with the sound effects and the PA announcing.
Willie Cola.
Little guy and the big guy.
Oh, what was it? David and Goliath.
Yeah, that's right. Poldel
Oh, he gets a
holding
card.
him on that one,
Yeah.
and gets a yellow card.
Yellow card, 69 minutes.
You know,
Total of the Boston Bulldogs.
you've got to figure it this way. For all the protesting Tommy Potel has done, that's a result of it. And because how come the referee is not called the other side for pulling?
Right, right. That's the way it works sometimes.
Mm.
He has been vocal out there.
Well, you know, and I think he's
And
had just
legitimately
cause to.
so. Yeah,
I really do.
legitimately so.
Because, you know, he's everywhere. He's like the Lone Ranger.
Yeah,
He's everywhere.
He is everywhere. He's got a lot of energy.
Once again, we're back to back. God Shouts, the exclusive uniform and equipment supply to the Boston Bulldogs. God Shouts.
Bulldogs definitely holding their own in the half, being a man down so far.
And our team gear, they hear the God Shouts. Check them out on the web, www.we.soccer.com.
Oh, they're on him. And see that? How can the referee allow that to go on?
Definitely offside, and that should have been a foul on Lowe.
I would say so, too. I think that foul would have been worthy of the WWF.
That's right. Not too sure about those white cleats either.
Yeah. Throw into the Rhinos. Throw it to the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs really needed to move it up out of their end, put some pressure on the Rhinos' defense.
Yeah. And despite the juggling effect on that, he couldn't keep it in. I thought it was a good try, though.
With another 20 minutes left, plenty of time to tie it up.
They're still using Grant because they got him pushed away up. He got two players on him. That's Steve Grant of the Bulldogs.
He's pushed way up as their target man, it
Yeah.
looks like. And Andy Lowe utilizing his height on that one. Luckily it was wide.
Well, it deflected off, I think, the hands of Russell Payne. As a result, the Rhinos have got a corner.
Looks like they're calling him off. Give him 10 yards off the corner there.
Tommy Tanner now with the corner, I think, because there's two players down there. No. Another corner. Headed away. I don't know whether Steve Nickel or Tommy Potel.
Yeah. That was a nice effort by Craig Demon on the header. He's coming up from the back. Number 3 for the Rhinos.
I'd still use Grant up front, even though there's a corner situation.
Yeah, you might as well keep him up there.
Because if Denham's come up, you know, to get Denham back, he's going to put Grant back there.
And there he goes. Just as you said it, Tommy. I think he heard you.
Whoa. All nut. That was a good cross, but results in a goal kick. It was good for us.
And that was actually a good effort by Tommy Poldo over there. Even though he didn't get a foot on the ball, he pressured him on the outside, and it resulted in an out-of-bounds cross.
Well, let me tell you something. We played, what, 70? We're in the 74th minute. Tommy Poldo, for me, is the man of the match for the Boston Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's
terrific. Steve Grant. Tommy Poldo is defending, and he's in. He's in for the challenge on the side in the attacking mode.
Unfortunate first touch by Tommy. He'll get another shot, though.
Don't forget, folks, our sister team, the Boston Renegades.
And the energy level of this young man, Tommy Poldo.
Fantastic.
You know, in this heat.
And it's interesting to see him play in the inside of this game. He's usually an outside midfielder. And that's actually a great play by Russell Payne.
It really was, wasn't it?
Forcing Lowe to put a foot on it.
Yeah, and he had big stride on it.
Ref's going to call that. Ref's calling everything so far.
Yeah, I know.
He's starting to, anyway.
He's tightened his game up. Steve Grant there trying to force the foul. Crowd getting a little bit antsy.
A little bit antsy, yeah.
Now it's low for the Rochester Rhinos. He's got Tanner to his left, who moves on the outside. Can't get the shot in, though. Goes over for a corner.
Tommy Tanner looking for the cross, deflected off the Bulldogs. This is where it's dangerous on these corner kicks.
Nash will come over to take the corner for the Rochester Rhinos. Raging Rhinos.
Don't forget the raging.
Right.
Russell Payne having a good game for the Bulldogs as well.
It really is. He's been outstanding.
And as we had mentioned earlier, you know, it's so key to have confidence in your keeper.
Oh, yeah. Certainly, if he was behind me, I'd have a lot of confidence in him. Steve Nicol headed it out. That could have been off the Rhinos there, because certainly the Bulldogs players, you know,
looks like they're arguing that. Yes.
Yeah, I think I would too, because it looked very suspicious. We're beginning to sound like as biased as Johnny Most.
Yeah, right?
One of the great commentators of basketball. Imagine him doing soccer.
Oh, man.
It'd be great, the greatest, eh?
Johnny Most.
Tanner.
Good effort,
courageous effort by Russell Payne.
Great effort.
I'll even applaud that while I'm watching.
That was a great effort by Russell Payne.
Steve Grant.
He's going to call that every time.
He's an expert at drawing that foul.
Yes, he is.
Paulo DeSantos with the free kick. No, he's going to leave it for Will Kohler. Seven players up, ready to receive this one. Good one. Looks for Steve Grant. It was going for Steve, but out jumped a little bit. What a great shot.
Beautiful
what a great shot there from Ebby Kodiak.
Ebby Kodiak's the go-to guy for the Bulldogs, and he's gotten a couple of good shots off so far this game.
Well, that's the second one he's had, and it's not been too far away.
Ebby Kodiak is a product of Salem State, just north of Boston. He's actually born in Kuwait.
Oh, yeah?
And he was a two-year starter at Salem State.
Are they called the Witches?
Yeah, no, I think that's the high school.
Okay.
Salem High School is the Witches. Salem State, I'm not sure what they are.
Salem, one of my favorite places to go and visit.
Sure. And Kodiak actually played with Deshaun Simpson up at Salem State.
No kidding. Will Kohler. Nice ball from Will. On to Steve Grant. On the left, is he going to take the ridge? Got 3 players on him, but Clinton nearly hits our cameraman.
We don't want that.
Paulo Dos Santos. Good ball. Good tag team effort there. Avery John. Good effort by Avery John.
Avery John's just a great player playing on the outside for the Bulldogs. He's always a threat offensively, and he's a great defender as well.
Steve Nicol with the free kick, with the throw-in, realizing that the clock's ticking away. Oh, nice touch on the back to Avery Kodiak. Takes a shot.
Oh, what a beautiful
That's the
shot.
third one. It's not too far away. And what a beautiful combination with Steve Grant.
And as you had mentioned a number of times, Tommy, they get the ball to Grant. He dishes it off to Kodiak, and Kodiak's going to get a quality shot off every time.
Right.
That's 3 in a row now. Or at least 2 in a row. He had one a while ago.
Goal kick now to the Rochester Raging Rhinos. Imagine them being in Premier League.
Right? The Raging Rhinos.
Raging Rhinos.
What a name.
You see people on the carpet in Liverpool going, the what?
The what? Exactly. Exactly.
They'd find something funny to say about them.
Yeah.
And we were talking before about top 10 things you'll never hear your dad say. And
what are we up to, number 8?
yeah, number 8. I noticed that all your friends have a certain hostile attitude. I like that. And number 7, here's a credit card and the keys to my new car. Go crazy.
Yeah. Here we go. Father's Day just around the corner.
Got it. Ball left for Russell Payne. Just rolls it out to Steve Nicol. Finds Tommy Potel. Tommy looking for Carlo. I'm sorry. It'll be Kodiak, I meant.
And for the last few minutes, the Bulldogs have definitely had the better of things, and they're controlling play for the most part. They've only got 9 minutes left, and they'd certainly like to put something on the scoreboard.
Chaka Daly getting warmed up below us.
Chaka Daly, another former Revolution player. Played a few matches for the New England Revolution.
I think he will go in for Sullivan Phillips. Just a guess. Paulo Dos Santos, Will Kohler, Steve Grant. Back to Paulo. Now Solid. Good try.
Paulo Dos Santos looking to weave his way through the defense there.
Do you know what? He had no other opportunity.
You're right. This could be trouble. But easily handled by our man, Steve Nicol.
I think we'll keep him.
Hey, he's the coach. We have to keep him.
Okay. Steve Grant there screaming for the ball. In the middle, goes out to Will Kohler. Onto Paulo. It's called the afterthought.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
He played like me.
The legs are getting a little tired, I think, in the 83rd minute. especially a man down.
Oh, yeah. Steve Nicol with the throw-in. Steve Grant still challenging for it, and Paulo dos Santos, a little bit unlucky.
That was a bit of unlucky that time. Paulo dos Santos, Grant, and Ebby Kodiak are working well up front,
Working great.
They're going to get their chances.
That's why I made the point. If Daly comes in, I think they'll substitute Phillips, and nothing wrong with Phillips. And there's Eddie Grant. He's a cool customer, dos Santos, isn't he?
Yes.
Ooh. Steve Nicol with it all to do. Oh, brilliant. With it all to do in the back and capable of doing it.
You had mentioned perhaps removing Sullivan Phillips, and I think it's just a matter of tired legs for him at this point.
No, I don't think that's an issue. I just think strategically it's the way to go. You know, put Chaka Daly in because he's fresh legs on, and you know, to create some opportunities on the right side.
Right.
And you know, to me, I would say that the left side of the Rochester Raging Rhinos is really the weaker side, and I think they need somebody to capitalise on that with fresher legs. Tanner. See, they're trying to get in the groove of swinging the ball out, which they weren't allowed to do after the second half because Boston were all over them.
There's a vital mistake by Tommy Tanner. And I don't even know what he's doing there. That's unsportsmanlike, if you ask me.
He can't do that. He's not allowed to do that.
And he's going to get a card for that, Tommy.
Exactly.
And he deserves it because that's just not something you do.
Right.
It was the ball was blatantly off of him,
right.
And it was a throw-in for the Bulldogs, and he stood there.
Yeah.
Trying to interfere with the throw-in, and he's going to get a card for that every time. That's a great call. There's no need for that.
Steve Grant doing a heck of a job since he come in. Sullivan Phillips. Steve Nicol. Precision passing. Look at this.
Looking to one-time it out wide. That was a mistake by Demon, just knocking it up for a Bulldog throw-in. The Bulldogs are looking to settle in the back and move it up.
Tanner.
And Andy Lowe offside, definitely offsides. And he's saying he wasn't, but I think he was.
Well, they certainly found the combination of how to play him.
Yeah, and I think they did that last time they were in Rochester was in town.
Russell Payne coming out of his goal kick to get it back upfield quickly with just over 3 minutes left in the game. Will Kohler, or we'll call you.
Will Kohler looking to be in the right place at the right time.
He's created some problems out there.
He certainly has. Few minutes left in this match, and Rochester putting a little bit of pressure on.
Well, they can sense it.
Now they're going to settle back, and the Bulldogs have to pressure them.
Relatively easy goal for the Rochester Rhinos.
And that was a situation, Tommy, where we were just mentioning how a man down, the Bulldogs were almost chasing in a sense because the Rhinos can just waste some time on the clock. That time they're pressuring one side. The Rhinos pushed it through and got a lucky pass through, and Onani Lowe was right there to get the assist.
So Sobrano adds to the tally of the Rochester Rhinos.
Stephen Grant with his dream shot from
Thinks he's
40 or 50 yards out.
The Diego Maradona shot.
When you're down 2-0, try anything, I guess.
That was Kelly, right? You know, well, the Boston Bulldogs, if they lose tonight, which I'm sure they're going to do now with less than 2 minutes left, you know, in the game, I don't think they've disgraced themselves. I think they've played a tremendous game. No,
they've done a great job, and like we said a few weeks ago, they beat Rochester 2-0. They're fairly even teams. Tonight just wasn't their night. Sam Franklin was out early with a red card, and what can you do?
And there's your buddy Lowe on the left side there. It looks very, very dangerous with that left foot.
Yeah, he's deceiving. Once he gets the ball just like that on the outside, he's got some speed, and he can crack a shot from outside, just like he did. Bulldogs had some excellent chances, too, in the second half, with Eddie Kodiak with at least 3 fantastic shots.
Yeah.
And Stephen Grant with a couple as well. Paulo Dos Santos almost broke through as well.
They made some great runs.
Great
really
runs.
Did.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It's been a good game.
Difficult playing a caliber of team like the Rochester Raving Rhinos with 10 men.
That's right.
Well, we've been informed that 1 minute will be added of extra time.
And Boston the Bulldogs actually beat the Rhinos in Rochester last year, so they've had their number the last couple of years.
What a terrible charge. Right on the collarbone. Sullivan, Phillips.
Avery John with a great game tonight as well.
They've all played well. Wow.
Good sportsmanship by Polo there.
Yep. He kicked him as he got up, though.
We didn't see that, did we?
No.
Need the binoculars for that.
I got him, too. Oh, Tommy Potel with a shot.
Good effort. Tired effort that time, it looked like.
Indeed.
And as I know I had mentioned it before, but Boston beat Rochester 2-0 here.
Yeah.
And last year in Rochester, they beat them as well. So it's been a fairly even series. It's not like Rochester's beaten Boston every time out. Tonight they have their number, but...
Well, they certainly give them something to think about, but, you know, the Rhinos beating Boston in Rochester by a score of 3-0.
Right.
And that's it. That's the final whistle on a game where, as you said before, Eric, certainly the Boston Bulldogs have nothing to be ashamed about playing that type of game, because I think they played a heck of a game and fought valiantly all the way, particularly after the second half. And I think the deciding factor in the game was the dismissal of Sammy, and had a big effect on the game, obviously.
I think that was a huge effect.
You can't play 10 men down with a caliber team like this.
You're right. And they did have their chances in the second half with a couple of fantastic shots, and it just didn't go in the back of the net.
Yeah. So players shaking hands there, and perhaps the Bulldogs a little bit disappointed, but nevertheless. Anyway, I want to thank you, Eric, for doing the colour.
Fantastic.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yes,
and,
I had a great time.
Let's do it again shortly.
We certainly will. Thank you, Tommy.
Anyway, this is Tommy Stafford for Channel 17 in Framingham saying good night. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.